Alright, well, we're live. I don't think anybody's joined us yet. You can see in the background the first part of the four-door version of the Jeep is being printed right now. Good morning, Bill. How you doing? So the first part of the four-door version of the Jeep is being printed. Right? And I'm using Paramount 3D PLA filament for the first time. So the print is almost done. It should be done during the stream, so we'll be able to take a look at the first print printed with this filament and see get some initial thoughts on it. One initial thought is the photos that they have on their site of the filament makes the filament look darker than it actually is. So when I got the filament, both colors that I got were lighter than I expected them to be. But I think it's still going to be fine. It just I was expecting a darker gray than what I got. This print is getting close. Starting to fill in the top layers on the front of the frame now. When it gets done doing that, it'll print the two little storage boxes on the back part of the frame, and that's all it's got left to do is to fill in the top. Looks like it's just me and you here, Bill, right now. Yeah, that was it. I was expecting a darker gray, and I was expecting the military khaki to be a little bit darker too. When I received the filament yesterday, the military khaki, the vacuum seal was broken on the bag inside already. So hopefully it wasn't that way for long, and the filament will still be fine. If not, I will definitely reach out to Paramount to talk to them about it. But I don't know if it shows up well on camera. I mean, the silica packet is still in there, and I don't see where the bag got punctured, but it definitely did somewhere because there is no vacuum seal on it. Morning, Minnesota Maker. And 3D Medic Vents. Yeah, I'm going to imagine that it's probably fine. Oh, well, I can feel where the air's coming out now. It got punctured right there. The hole. There it is. So, the bag got punctured, and the vacuum seal was... And the box they sent it to me in, post office did do a number on it. The box was pretty crunched up. But, yeah, this is my first journey into using Paramount 3D's filament. They do have some awesome colors, so I mean, I'm looking forward to it. To you know, if these work out well, getting some of those other colors too, because they've got some really nice colors. But they do in pictures appear darker than the reality of them. Once again, why is my camera so blurry? Focus. Make it focus up close first, and then see if it. There it goes. Morning, Joe. A very nice dark gray. Mad Maker. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check it out. So yeah, I was wanting a darker gray than what I got. And the picture, it looked dark, and the name of it sounded like it should be dark. It was graphite gray. And when I think graphite, I think a very dark gray, because, you know, I think pencil lead. But it's more of a medium gray. My initial impression so far is the filament looks good from what I can see on the build plate. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I did have some build plate adhesion issues on one corner. The supports it was printing for the corner popped off, and so then I spent the next like 30 minutes trying to lay down just the right amount of blue tape on that corner to get it to recover itself, and it did. I mean, it recovered nicely. I don't think it's going to affect the finish on the part at all, because it was just supports that broke free. But yeah, I've got some layers of blue tape on that corner. And that corner, the supports look really ugly on that corner, but it just the supports, so it should be okay. I didn't want to cancel the print, because when it popped loose, it was about 3 hours in. So I didn't want to throw away 3 hours worth of printing and 3 hours worth of print, 3 hours worth of filament that it extruded. So I was like, I'm going to save this. I'm going to do what I can to save it. And yes, I ordered the Easy ABL from TH3D. I've got that and a couple new of his build mats coming. So hopefully that will make things a little easier to level. I have to re-level it. I pretty much only have to re-level it whenever I change filament. Anytime I change filament, I have to go through, re-leveling it. But once I get that level dialed in, then it's fine until I change filament again. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to make things a little easier. So how does that U10 print? Is it a decent printer, Bill? Brian Vines, good morning, sir. Good morning, Don. People are starting to show up now. Solid bed mounts? Yeah, I might do that too. Mike Whaley, Ron, everyone's popping in. Morning, guys. Okay, so the stock extruder is a little weak. And Zimmy, good morning. Everyone's popping in. Good to see you guys. So yeah, the behind me you can see the frame, the lower portion of the four-door Jeep is printing, and it's almost done. We'll get our first thoughts on, or my first thoughts, on Paramount 3D's filament, because I really haven't seen too many people using it, but man, their shipping was fast. The one thing I will say about it is it prints a little cooler than what my other filaments have. Because both the Inland and 3D Solutech, and that's all I've used to this point is Inland and 3D Solutech, they both seem to really like about 215. And this suggested a range between 190 and 210. So I'm running it at 205. And it seems to be pretty good. Yeah, I was considering a U10 at one point. But so far, I haven't needed the Z height on this as much as I have just the X and Y dimensions. Um, I'm sure at some point I'll run into something that the Z height will be more necessary. But for now, Z height has been really inconsequential. Tallest thing I've printed is the body of the Jeep. But I definitely needed the X and Y dimensions of the build plate. You know, this, as you can see behind me, is filling up a vast majority of the X dimension. And I hope I don't. I may end up having to cut the stream short today. I don't know. We do have some guests staying at my house today. Um, some friends of ours that live in Myrtle Beach. Um, they were evacuating from the hurricane, and there was no hotels and stuff for them last night, and so we told them to just come crash with us. So they stayed with us last night. Yeah, so there's three people in my house that may not be used to this whole 3D printing and YouTube thing. Oh, my haters already been here? Wow, that was fast. They were on it today. They don't ever leave a reason why they give a thumbs down. They give a thumbs down every video. Yeah, Florence is looking pretty tough, and so we were glad to open up our home to them, give them a place to stay last night, and because all the hotels between here and there are pretty well booked up from people, fleeing the storm. And so, thanks, Joe. Yeah, we got the room, man. I've got a I've got a futon that folds out to a twin size bed upstairs, and then we got a full size bed upstairs. So they had plenty of places to sleep. I can't say the futon's all that comfortable to sleep on, but at least it's a place to sleep and a roof over their head. And my wife baked them a cake. That's why we did the music live stream an hour early yesterday, because they were due to get here right about 8 o'clock. And so we did the music live stream at 7 instead of 8, because we thought it would probably be, um, after the long drive and stuff, it's like they're probably not going to deal with showing up and then sitting through the whole live stream thing and all that. So we did that an hour early last night, and sure enough, no sooner than we got done and I got the PA put away, they showed up. So, right, Ron. The thumbs down still gives me credit. It's still interaction with the video, which is all YouTube actually cares about. Yeah. So yeah, sorry about that, Joe. There were several people who jumped on at the regular time and started making requests and stuff, and I had to say send them messages, and some of them would say, "Guys, this is already done. We did it early tonight." So it just seemed to make the most sense with them coming in. It's like, well, I still wanted to do the stream and get that, because I didn't want to miss a week, but we didn't want the craziness of all that going on when they got here. So I hope they slept well. I know they're up because they've moved their vehicle. Mike, never let the machines win. But right now I'm winning. I'm winning. Even with my thumbs down this morning, I'm winning. Kind of like Charlie Sheen, but without all the diseases. Yeah, I've got some house guests staying with us. They live in Myrtle Beach, and as you know, Myrtle Beach is about to get hammered by a Category 3 hurricane, and so they were evacuating their home, and all the hotels were booked up. So they were coming this way anyway. So we said, we got the room. Just come crash with us. So. Because where I used to have the makerspace set up upstairs, there's a guest bed up there. Is a full-size bed and a futon that folds down into a slightly larger than a twin-size bed. And so the three of them all had a place to sleep and a roof over their head last night. I think they managed to wrangle themselves a hotel for tonight, but we told them they were welcome to stay here as long as they needed. But I think they did wrangle themselves a hotel for tonight. Yeah, well, Joe, I thought about that, but then I also thought, after a 10.5 hour drive, 11-hour drive, whatever it was for them, I'm sure they want to just come in and bring their stuff in and relax. So we're getting close to finishing up the frame for the 4-door Jeep back there. We'll see what that looks like. I think we're getting close. Let me see. Yeah, all that's left to print are the little storage boxes in the back, and I imagine it'll crank those out pretty quick because now it's not going to have to travel to this side of the frame over here. This side at all anymore. It should be done with this side. So the head should stay all over here and just building up those two little boxes. Well, see, I'll be at work tonight, so it doesn't make a difference to me one way or the other. But yeah, they're Myrtle Beach is getting ready to get hit by that storm pretty hard. I think they're expecting it to be downgraded to a Category 1 by the time it makes it down there. But nevertheless, you're talking 80, 85 mile an hour winds. That can do some damage. And the storm surge, they're expecting the water level to come up like 6 feet. So. Definitely not a place to be. My cousin and her husband decided they also live in Myrtle Beach. They decided to stay and ride it out, and I was on record as saying I was against that idea because the concern is were something to happen and someone get hurt, emergency services will be pretty much unavailable during the storm. So you just have to kind of fend for yourself if something happened. So I was against that idea, but because I imagine power is going to go out, it could potentially take down the cell towers, so you have no communication, no emergency services, no power. Just, yeah, doesn't sound like a good idea to me. But I'm a little more cautious than most, I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly any way you look at it. I mean, even though they're not going to get the full brunt of it, they're going to get hit pretty hard. So with all the things to worry about and things like that, I was like, well, at least the folks that are staying with us last night don't have to worry about a roof over their head, a place to lay their head. They got enough stuff to worry about. Yeah, the report I saw this morning, they're expecting it to only be a Category 1 by the time it makes landfall in South Carolina. So hopefully that means no major destruction or anything like that, but it's still not a safe place to be. It's like Walter always says about hurricanes. You get warning. They know they're coming. They can predict pretty much exactly when they're going to be here. So you got time to get out. You got a vehicle. You load your stuff in it and get out of Dodge. Yeah, I get that, and that could be part of the reason for my cousin and her husband to stay is but they live in a gated community and a really big beautiful home. So while their stuff may be more valuable, it's also a little bit more secure being inside of a secured gated community. It's a little hard to steal a TV when there's a 12-foot high fence between you and the outside. Because I've been there. The least secure part of it is a 10-foot high gate that opens and closes and has spiky things on top of it. That's probably the least secure part of it. I guess the only people you really have to worry about looting your stuff is the other people inside the gated community, which they wouldn't need to do that. They've got their own stuff. Oh, that could be. I didn't think about that. That could be Bill. I was hoping this would be done by the time the stream started, but as usual, Kira underestimates the amount of time it takes to actually print. But we're getting close. Because I was wanting to review this filament this morning. So the body color on this one, and since the thing is seals broke on it already anyway, go get a better look at it without the plastic clean. So now there's no plastic in the way. You know, the light looks kind of blue. We'll see if we get some natural light in here. No, that's just not going to work either. So this is going to be the color of the four-door Jeep. Later, Brian. Go to work, man. But yeah, you can see the recommended print temperature is 195 to 210. And then they recommend heated bed temperature between 50 and 60. Closing window. Yeah. So it runs a little cooler than what I've been running the inland and 3D Solutech. I've been running both of them at 215. And this is running at 205. But they shipped fast, man. Because I ordered it from their official eBay page. Because Paramount 3D has a eBay store or whatever. And so I ordered it on Monday morning. Paid for it through PayPal and all that, and I received the shipment yesterday. Yeah, I haven't had any trouble with 50-degree bed, but I haven't had any trouble on the X1 that doesn't even have a heated bed. I printed, 3D Solutech and inland both on the X1 with no heated bed at all, and still sticks just fine. I think the little bit of adhesion issue I had in that one corner right there, that one corner was, I think that corner of the bed was just a skosh too far away. True. The X1 is only 150 by 150 by 150 build volume. The morning Scalda. The thing I was getting with the X1 a lot when I was trying to print my truck and all the pieces of my truck was I would have one corner or another on large flat pieces that would lift a little bit, and so then there was warping and trying to mate the warped pieces together and all that. It was just a nightmare. So large format machine has been a game changer. Mr. Buttram is late to the party. That's okay. You haven't missed anything yet. We've been sitting here just talking. We've been talking about the hurricane rolling into the East Coast, and we've talked about the beginnings of the four-door version of the Jeep is on the printer right there, and the frame is almost done printing. I'm printing it in Paramount 3D filament. First time I've used it, and as soon as this print's done, we'll pull it off there, and I'll give my initial impressions. My initial impression is that the print looks good. So I think it's going to be a winner. And the price isn't too bad on their filament. It's $20 a roll. So it's a little bit more than Inland or 3D Solutech, but their range of colors is fantastic. Yeah, their colors are awesome. I mean, so I would gladly pay, you know, a $5 premium over Inland and 3D Solutech to have some of these color choices. What are you doing? The dog keeps messing up the curves. All right, Bill. Go take your dog to the vet, man. Hope everything's all right. So yeah, I was expecting, with the timing of this, I was expecting this to be done by the time the stream started this morning, so that I would have it in hand and we could talk about it, not still sitting on the print bed. But yeah, Kira underestimated the time, because, well, maybe not. Maybe not. Kira estimated it as 16 hours and 15 minutes. And according to CR10, it's been running for 15 hours and 53 minutes. So maybe it didn't underestimate it. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it's spot on. I underestimated when I started it, I guess. I thought I started it earlier than I did yesterday. Because I just started it, God, what was that? About 4 o'clock? I don't know. Anyhow, I was hoping it would be done. It will definitely be done during the stream, so we will get it off the bed and get to review the filament in hand. The thing I would caution anybody about is the pictures on their website that they use to promote their filaments. The pictures make the filament look darker than it is. Because I can say that I've gotten 2 colors, and both of them are lighter than they looked on the website. So actually, Kira might be spot on. I owe Kieran an apology. So yeah, both of the colors are lighter than they appear on their website. So they were lighter than I expected them to be, because the picture of that gray looked like a dark gray, and the name of it is graphite gray. And when I think graphite, I think, you know, pencil lead dark. And that's not that dark. So it's still, I think, going to be fine. I've made some changes to the model between the 2-door and the 4-door, other than the obvious, you know, lengthening it, adding 2 more doors. So I'm going to try while I'm at it. But I can always, you know, use the original versions of the parts that I changed the design on a little bit if they don't work out. Just wanted to try a couple things. I'm always tinkering around. Somebody sent me a message on Thingiverse that they had trouble with my dumpster, so I need to go iterate that as well today. So yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, because all it's doing now is the if you've seen in the model, the two like storage boxes that are on the back of the frame. Which are totally unnecessary parts. Excuse me. If the print were to fail right now, the part would still be 100% usable. Because it's purely a cosmetic thing for if you choose the open-backed version of the Jeep. You got these two little storage boxes that you can put stuff in. Which I've thought about designing up some jerry cans that sit in those. Or some ammo boxes or something to put in them. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I couldn't sleep. It got warmer last night than we anticipated, so we had turned the air up because it had been cooler at night and the past few days, and it got warmer than we anticipated, so I woke up all hot and sweaty, and I can't sleep when I'm hot. So I got up to check on the print and see if that one corner that I had been trying desperately to save did finally recover itself, and thankfully it did. And it's just support material, so I don't care if it's ugly. It's going to be broken off there. So 16 hours and 15 minutes was the expected time. We're at 15 hours and 58 minutes, so we're getting close. Well, we're getting close to the estimated print time. So when I get done with this, I'll have to slice up the next thing and get it started. And I need to, I guess we can do that right now. I need to slice up some stuff for the A8. Slice up the tires and get them going. Oh, oh. Can't stop yawning. So let's open Kira. Let's go to the screen share. Pull my chat back up on top. Move it out of the way. Let's go. Okay, on the 8. Let's open a file. Don't you love my organization? Multiply model, 3 more copies. Dink. not grabbing. It's too far off the edge. And then these two, mirror them. There we go. Set of tires, prepare. Alright, so we'll save that to removable drive. Eject. So the other day, I was running all three printers and had my computer on and everything, and I tripped a circuit breaker. So fair warning, if I disappear, it's because I tripped a circuit breaker again. I hope I don't, but if I do, I'll get signed back on and fired up, back up again. So anyway, yeah, I keep the I keep thinking I need to go to and pick up a couple of UPSs, one for that shelf and one for this shelf, and that would at least give me the time to go back and flip the circuit breaker back on without the prints failing. Because I was a little upset that it killed 3 prints simultaneously. Joey, it's fine. Stop. It's okay. No, you're not vicious. Nobody's scared. See, I'll show you the world of YouTube. Nobody's scared. Nobody's afraid. You're too little and fluffy and cute. You're too little and fluffy and cute. Nobody's afraid of you. Nobody's afraid. He says, let me go, Dad. Let me go, Dad. Let me bark. No, don't bark. Come on. No. Vicious. Woof. Calm down. You're fine. Joey, chill. You saw him all last night. That's our house guest. Calm down. No. 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 Joey. No. Joseph. No. 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 Stop. Joey. I'm gonna have to mute my mic. Stop. He had to. All right. Sorry. You're not afraid, Mike. You're not afraid. Nobody's afraid. I've only met one person who was afraid, and that was our across the street neighbor at the old house, a little kid named William. And he was afraid of him when he was only 6 pounds. When he was tiny. When he was the size of my foot. Oh. Oh. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Hmm? No. All right. The A8 is getting ready to start printing. Cross your fingers, folks. Maybe a tad bit too much squish, but my glass isn't flat. So we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Later, Zimmy. Yeah, I kept it. I actually closed the door on the makerspace, and I've been keeping him shut up in here with me this morning so he wouldn't bother them. And of course, then he finds a way to bother them anyway. Yeah, I think I got a tad too much squish, but I'm gonna let it ride. We're at 16 hours and 11 minutes now on this. So we got 4 more minutes, according to Kira. We'll see how close we get. I need to start doing these as a Hangout stream so y'all can come in here and chat with me. Sit. That way when I'm starting to print like this and I have to turn around. Oh, look at there. 16 hours and 12 minutes. It beat Cura by 2 minutes. "16 hours, 12 minutes, and 27 seconds. Flip the power off. That way. What's going on, Robbie Mac? Good to see you, man. So we're letting the build plate cool down a little bit back there for the S4. It just finished. We'll let the build plate cool down a little bit, and then we'll pop that that piece off. 16-hour print. 16 hours, 12 minutes, 27 seconds. Took my son to Sonic this morning for breakfast on the way to school. Had a breakfast burrito. The steppers from the A8 while printing these tires almost sounds like it's singing. Yeah, it's doing great, man. It's Joseph, sit. Joey, sit. Don't give me any sass. Sit. Sit. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. So yeah, I got him locked up in the makerspace with me this morning, and he's not too crazy about it. But I didn't want him to bother our guests. And Robbie, I ordered the Easy ABL and a couple new bed mats from Timothy Hoagland. Actually, his middle name is Elliot. It's Joseph Elliot Tanner right there. Middle name is Elliot. Just yeah, because my son wanted to name him, and we weren't going to let that happen. So we let him pick the middle name. Joe Elliott's the name of a 80s rocker. I don't know. I don't know much about rock. My wife's an 80s rock chick. I have guests shown because they live in Myrtle Beach, and were evacuating from the storm, and all the hotels and stuff were booked up. So yeah, we let them crash at our place last night. Sit. Don't give me any sass. Just sit. Yeah, that's exactly, man. So I just don't think Thingiverse is the place for if you want to see anything financially gainful from your models. I'd be curious to ask somebody who's one of the more popular designers, someone like Luby or Daniel Nuret, if they get a lot of tips through Thingiverse. I'd be curious. All the blue tape when I was trying to save that corner. But it worked. Corner was saved. Now the smaller frame, I was able to pop it right off. This one may take a little more convincing. I need to get a proper print. Order one of those build tax spatulas. This one's sticking to the bed a lot better than the 2-door version did. The 2-door version, once I started one corner, it just peeled right up. This one's a little bit larger, so more surface area. Stuck to the bed. Well, it's also a different filament, which could be making a difference too. Kingdom for a flexible steel sheet. Because this one is stuck down good. I can't move on to print the next thing if I can't get this off the bed. And I don't want to break it. Already cracked one spot on it a little bit. That's stuck down good. See if I can find something right under there. There we go. Got it off. All right, so now let's go to the webcam close-up. So the finish on the Paramount filament is very nice. I did use a little bit of glue stick when the first layer was not wanting to adhere good. So I do have some glue residue on the bottom of it. The nice thing about glue residue is it always washes right off. In fact, we will do that. Oh, you got it. I'm live streaming on YouTube right now, so just fair warning.
Oh, okay.
Came out really nice.
And that breaking off thing,
that was under here. Broke right off. It just didn't want to come off the build plate. So we got a few supports inside there that need to. Yeah, the tires are going over there now. Joey, if you make a pest of yourself, you'll have to come back in here. Sit. He said, I'm sitting. So yeah, there it is. They only had that when you were still in engineering, right?
Yes. Well, but you had not even have anything there. Not anything there.
Oh, it's great. It's an affordable hobby too.
When you mention it, I want you to take a look at that. It's called 3D paint. Google's came to look at paint. Okay. Now they got 3D paint.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Cool. Well, guess I'll get back to it. Did you sleep okay?
Yes, very nicely.
Yeah. Those memory foam mattresses are yeah. Believe it or not, they're really cheap too. They come in a box at Walmart. Yeah, and you just unroll it and you cut the plastic off and you let it sit for 24 to 48 hours to puff back up. And we liked it so well that we bought one that's what we sleep on now too. So and that's what Rhett sleeps on. We replaced all the mattresses in the house with them because it's so comfortable, and all three mattresses combined don't cost as much as one regular innerspring mattress. Wow. And they're great. Love them. Yeah, cool. Oh, I'm glad it's comfortable. Like I said, you buy them at Walmart. It was Spa Sensations was the name of the company. It's in the box. Yeah. Joey, you'd be good. Yeah. All right, I'm back. Yeah, he walked in here. I don't think he knew I was streaming on YouTube at the time. So yeah, I had some first layer issues. So the first layer is kind of ugly, but I don't really care because it's on the bottom of the model. But the top. Came out really nice. So I'm going to say that with that, I give Paramount 3D my thumbs up of approval. Break the supports out of the exhaust on the side. But yeah, the first layer I was having, when it was going down, I was having some adhesion issues, so I applied glue stick to the rest of it before it got it covered up. And I just washed that out off the bottom. No, that's just how it came out, man. I didn't use any special features or anything with Kira. It's just the finish on the filament and the testament to how well dialed in that S4 is. Very smooth, very nice. The temp, it was 205. And they recommend a temp range between 195 and 210. And they printed it at 205. And I didn't print any temp towers or anything like that to really test or dial in the filament first. I just set it to 205 and started printing. I'm not patient like Robbie Mack is in print temp towers. I probably should be, but I just put the faith in the manufacturer that they knew where their filament should be printing and put it somewhere in the middle. And I was like, I can go up or down if I notice problems, but no problems, man. It looks gorgeous. So I'm going to say Paramount makes some very nice filament. Because the only problems I have is on the bottom, and some of that is because of the tear in the tear in the build sheet, which I got another one coming, and then a little bit of it wasn't adhering well right here, and then I stuck glue stick down while it was still printing, and the rest of it was fine. So I would give Paramount 3D my seal of approval and say that their filament is good stuff. My only word of caution is it looks darker in pictures than it is in reality, because I was expecting a dark gray out of this, and it's more of a medium gray. But the four-door Jeep is underway. There's the frame. So now I got to print axles and wheels and tires, and bumpers, the whole body. See, I print 215 on Inland and 3D Solutech. I print them at 215, and they seem to like it best. This runs a little cooler. This is 205. And it seemed to like 205 just fine, because the print quality on that is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, both the silver metal and the black, real black of 3D Solutech. I've printed both of those, and 215 is where I have my most success with it. Now, bearing in mind that the X1 does not hold a steady temperature at 215. You set it to 215 and it runs more like 212. So if your machine is more spot on, you might vary a degree or two. Just cleaning up some little hairs and stuff. From where, and most of it is caused by where that one support area broke loose from the bed, and then it wasn't printing back to that support spot. So there was leftover filament on the head as it moved around and deposited some funky stuff in some funky places. So, but it was nothing to clean up. It's no bad, no big deal. So I like the finish on it very, very much. It's shiny without being obnoxiously shiny, but a good, smooth, solid finish. And I like 3D Solutech, and I like the little bit of inland I've used. The 3D Solutech is real consistent. So as long as Paramount is as consistent going from color to color as some of the other stuff, man, this stuff's spot on. It's beautiful. Like I said, other than I expected it to be a darker gray. Yeah, this is no filament frenzy print, but I'm going to call it real good. It's not in Tom Jackson's league, but it's good. Yes, that's the graphite gray. So with a name like graphite gray, I expected it to be considerably darker. So now the comparison. To the two-door Jeep. See, we're going to be quite a bit longer. This will also show you you can choose your top and bottom layers to be concentric on Kira now if you want to, and this is what concentric does. See that nifty little pattern there? And there's the tear in the build mat. Which I kind of liked. And then I went to the regular it's not a concentric pattern, just the regular top and bottom layers for that. Yeah, like I said, I would call this a medium gray. Because you see here it is next to 3D Solutech's real silver, or silver metal rather. It's very similar in color. It's a little bit darker, a couple shades darker, but I would have expected it to be a lot darker than silver metal. Forgot that sport material. Right? Cut a shape that's a watermark into your build plate. I need to clean this build plate now because I ended up slathering quite a bit of glue on it when that first layer wasn't sticking when it was halfway through. So before I run another print on it, I need to clean it. But yeah, the colors that Paramount 3D has available, they have a lot of colors available, and they got some really cool colors available that I've never seen from anybody else. And so, that being said, that makes me think, because I looked at their military green a while back, and on screen it looked too dark. That makes me wonder now if it's not probably a much better shade in person than what it looked on the website. Because on the website, I was like, no, that's too dark a green. But on the website, that gray looked, like a nice dark gray, and I get it, and it's more medium gray. And then the khaki looked kind of a dark tan, and I get it, and it's really light. So their pictures on their website look considerably darker than the reality. So I'm wondering if their military green that I thought was too dark might not just be right. I thought I heard something. But no. Unit's humming away. John's not here. Well, John, while you're not here, I don't know if you've ever checked out Paramount 3D's filament before, but my initial verdict of it is it's good stuff. And they have some really cool colors that I haven't seen from anybody else. So right now, I would give them a recommendation. And they don't give me anything free or anything like that. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. But tell them I sent you, because they're aware of me thanks to Hawk 3D. Because Hawk 3D sent him a message on Twitter and told him that he heard about their filament from me on my live stream Tuesday, and so they followed me on Twitter and sent me a direct message and said, Ben from Hawk 3D Pro said you were talking about our filament and that you had referred him to us. And I said, well, yeah, I was talking about it because I ordered some on Monday and I haven't got to try it yet. I said, but I look forward to printing with it and giving it a whirl because you guys have some really cool colors. And so yeah, if you bounce their way, tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll sponsor some builds for me. Yes, they advertise Pantone colors. They've got some really neat colors like a Decepticon purple, Autobot blue. There's a Cadet blue that I'm interested in trying out because I think it's kind of like that. It looks like that blue that like the Navy uses in their camo. Navy or the Air Force One, the ones with the blue military outfits, like with the camo. I forget which, but it looks good. Yeah, they got a lot of colors I'd like to try. Yeah, they advertised the Pantone. I was looking to see if that's what, if they had that on the box anywhere. I don't know if that's. Any of those. I don't know if any of those numbers mean anything to anybody. But yeah, initial reaction to the filament is very good. For those maybe that just joined us and did not see it, you can see the finish on it is fantastic. Like I said, my only word of caution at all is that the color is a little lighter than what it appears to be on their website. So their photos on their website and on their eBay store make the filament look a little darker than it is. So I'd like to try their military green. See, because it looked too dark for me when I seen it on their website. I was like, no, that's too dark. But now that I know that their colors are actually seem to be a little bit lighter than the picture, I'm wondering if that's not, perfect green. I don't know, and they've been really good about communication. They sent me that direct message on Twitter, and I answered them back, and it wasn't but just a few minutes, and they wrote back to me again. So also when I placed the order, I initially accidentally clicked buy it now on the 3mm, and I sent them a message and I went, oops, I meant to order 1.75. And they're like, no problem, and they immediately responded back, said, no problem, just cancel this order and order the other one. So I did. And so I canceled the order. They sent the immediate refund and ordered the other. And so their communication with customers has been fantastic. So that's what I said. If you go check them out and decide to pick some up, shoot them a message on Twitter to tell them I sent you, because they pay attention to that, obviously, because Hawk had sent them a message, and they followed me. I wasn't even following them yet at that point, and they followed me on Twitter and sent me a DM. Chris, looky. How you doing this morning, man? So this is the frame for the 4-door version of the Jeep. Printed in Paramount 3D, PLA, graphite gray, PLA, and the surface finish is phenomenal. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. A little tired because I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I woke up and it was hot in the house, and when I'm hot, I can't sleep. So I had to crank up the AC a little bit. So there's a nap in my future, probably shortly after the stream. But yeah, the finish on their filament is beautiful. Couldn't be more happy with it. So yeah, I'm kind of on their radar, I guess, so to speak. So yeah, if you guys go check them out, send them a DM on Twitter. Chris Riley can't do that because he's not on Twitter. And let them know I sent you. See, I find a way to sneak it in there every time, Chris. Every time. Chris Riley can't send Paramount 3D a DM on Twitter because he's not on Twitter. But they're at Paramount 3D on Twitter, and their response to their customers has been absolutely fantastic. As far as they've gotten back to me every time I've contacted them immediately, and the filament looks like good stuff. Prints excellently at 205 on a 50-degree bed. So I will be printing the rest of the four-door Jeep, with the exception of the dash, seats, and tires. Everything else is going to be in Paramount 3D. Graphite gray for the frame, the bumpers, windows, lights, roll bar, and then military khaki tan, khaki brown, whatever, for the body and wheels. So that'll be all happening in the next coming days. I probably won't get much done tomorrow because I work a double on Fridays. But I'm gonna start cranking out the pieces. So watch my Twitter, which Chris Riley can't do, for pictures of the four-door version of the Jeep, because I'll post pictures of the progress as it happens. The ANET is printing tires as we speak. But I give Paramount 3D a solid stamp of approval because I'm very happy with the results of this. And if the rest of the Jeep comes out this good, it's going to be fantastic. So yeah, they have some colors that not too many people out there have. This was the only place I found any kind of military khaki. There were other colors that were close, but this is supposed to be the spot on actual military khaki brown. I did crack that a little bit trying to remove that from the build plate. Not too bad though. That's not a structural part, and you don't really see it behind the wheel. That's on me, not the filament. It was both these rolls were $19.99 each, shipped on eBay. I ordered them on Monday and I received them yesterday, so it only took 2 days to get them from the time that I placed the order on eBay. So their shipping is fast, their customer service is spot on, because I even made the mistake Monday of the military khaki. I clicked buy it now before I actually looked at the diameter of the filament, and I accidentally ordered the 3mm filament. So as soon as I noticed that, I sent them a message and I said, yeah, that is kind of weird. They don't have a photo for their Twitter profile. But I sent them a message immediately on eBay, and I said, I accidentally ordered the wrong one. I meant to order 1.75. Do you have 1.75? They sent me back a message saying, yes, we have 1.75. Just go ahead and cancel this order and resubmit. And so I canceled it. They immediately approved the cancel, which gave me the refund on PayPal. And I placed the order for the 1.75mm filament. Um, and then I placed the order for the graphite gray, 1.75 millimeter filament. Right afterwards, I hit buy it now on both of them and paid for them. And they bundled them together into one box, shipped them out. And I received shipping notification literally minutes after I'd completed the payment. And I received them in the mail yesterday. So 2 days. Good morning, Rover. Like I said, their customer service, has been excellent so far. With my dealings with them anyway. And Ben from Hawk 3D Proto, after I discussed them on Tuesday morning stream and said that I had ordered some and kind of showed off some of the colors that they had and stuff on Tuesday morning stream, he sent them a message on Twitter and said that he'd heard about them from me. So they followed me on Twitter and sent me a DM and said Ben from Hawk 3D Proto said that you sent him our way. And I said, well, yeah. I said, I placed an order, but I said, I haven't printed with it yet. But I did place an order, and I talked about it this morning on my stream. And went to your eBay store and showed off some of the colors of the filament and stuff that you have. And so they said, well, appreciate that, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And if there are any colors that you think would be popular that you would like to see that maybe aren't out there, and we'll be happy to see if we can't do something about that. So their customer service has been great, their communication's been great, their shipping was extremely fast. The military khaki brown, the vacuum seal is broken on the bag, but I'm not going to blame that on them because the box that the U.S. Postal Service had looks like they had done cartwheels with it in their hand. So they were kind of rough with the box, and so I think that's how the bag got punctured. But I think it'll be okay. And yeah, their filament seems to run $20 to $25 a kilo, depending upon color. Some of the colors were a little bit more, but both of these I got for $19.99 shipped. And like I said, that may be $5 more than 3D Solutech or Inland, but they have way more colors than what they have. In fact, I would like to see what their red looks like in person because I've had a hard time finding reds that I like the look of in person. And on their website, the picture looks great. So their Enzo red looks fantastic. But the finish on their filament is great. Like I said, the printing temperature I printed at was 205 on the hot end and 50 degrees on the bed, and the results were nothing short of spectacular. I know some of that is because I've got such a well-tuned machine that I got from Robbie Mac, and that's what I printed this on. But I'm going to give the filament credit where credit's due because it looks fantastic. So at least the graphite gray, which is all I've printed with so far, gets my full-on stamp of approval, 2 thumbs up. And I will finish printing the graphite gray parts probably by this weekend and be ready. Hopefully by Tuesday of next week, we'll be showing off parts that are in the khaki color as well. So I'm going to crank out what I can today, see if I can't knock out most of the gray parts today. And then I probably won't have a chance to do much of anything tomorrow. Or trolling for dollars. you're just joining us, I was singing the praises of this Paramount 3D filament, which I paid for with my own money. There was nothing. This is my experience paying my own money for it. I'm happy that I paid the money for it because it's fantastic, and I would gladly do so again if it all comes out the quality that this came out. You know, I've had good luck with 3D Solutech as well, but their color selection is kind of limited. So if I could go between 3D Solutech and Paramount 3D and get all my color needs fulfilled, and still not spend over $20 to $25 a kilogram, because I think the most expensive stuff was like PLA was like 25 that I saw. But most of it was $19.99. Which is a worthwhile price to me. But yeah, John, I did think that was weird. They don't have a profile photo on their Twitter account. But who knows? Maybe if I send enough people their way, they'll give me, they'll give me a discount on something, or sponsor me on my next build. Send enough people their way. Because like I said, I paid for this with my own money and would gladly do so again. Although my filament budget's blown for the next couple weeks. And it's cranking away tires back there. And it's printing in 3D Solutech Real Black. And the little X1 is sitting lonely because he's loaded up with 3D Solutech silver metal, and I don't have anything I need printed in that right now. So he's sitting there lonely.